So recently I noticed something interesting about my channel. And the interesting thing is that I'm reaching people that I never even targeted to reach, referring to men. By the way, I'm really talking like this because there's so much sun here. I notice that not only do I have a strong male following, and at first I thought, it's probably because of the way I look. Like I'm not naive, right? But they're actually really engaging. They are asking questions. They are giving feedback and commenting on my episodes. They seem to be touched. They share their perspectives. I'm reaching people that I initially did not, target. And what I notice on a deeper level, apart from surface reasons, which I cannot always control, right? But it's like if you truly show up as you, like the more individual you are, the more real you are, what happens is that you become universal because people recognize real, people recognizes the human part. And stories they bind, they connect people. And yeah, I'm sharing a lot about my life as a mom. I'm sharing a lot about my life as an entrepreneur, even as a woman. And still there are men that are seeing their own truth in it. And it's it's a humbling thing because I personally, there's a reason why I also target women. One, I am a woman, right? So I always think you talk from your own experience. And two, being that I had, episodes in my life where I was guiding men and then it became messy because they would start having feelings for me. But then I was honest and I'm like, you know what? I think that can happen with anybody. There are so many amazing men out there, like a Tony Robbins or David Guillaume or Peter Crone, um, beautiful, heart-centered men that are doing the work that are helping men and women. And for sure, they have to do with, females wanting more than just their help. And so it humbled me thinking, I don't know why these guys would follow me. But what I do know, and based on the comments that I get and the fact that people really seem engaged, is that I touched something in them. So who am I to judge that? Who am I to say, hey, I'm not going to help men? So I got that question the other day, like, hey, I see that you target women. Do you also help men? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And it's for me to be discerning about who I let in, to determine like, hey, are you truly invested? Are you here for the right reasons? And it's not just for men. Guess what? I have that discernment towards women too. Because too often I would guide people in the past that were not really committed, that still wanted to play small, that still wanted to be the victim of their own story, that still wanted to hold on to control and not really do what they were guided to do. And therefore there's no change. The other day I was so proud of my girlfriend, my best friend who lives in Norway, for stepping up her game in her business. And she did something I was so proud of her doing. But the funny thing is, it's actually not funny, but she started this whole 10-day challenge. And at the end, nobody showed up. And I said to her, that was a reflection back to her, the whole team was rejection. And I said, wow, wasn't this the ultimate rejection that eventually nobody showed up? And she's like, oh my God, Az, I didn't even look at it that way. Like, here you are putting yourself out there, having this huge 10-day challenge. It was a paid container. But not everybody showed up, especially not at the end. She made sure that her little one is already asleep on time in bed. And then she was on her Zoom call and nobody was there, crickets. And they were all women. And I said to her, this is a beautiful, valuable lesson because it means that, you targeted the wrong people. You targeted people that were not really committed, and she already knew that. She already noticed that, and that just doesn't make your work fun. You're constantly showing up, and people are not showing up for themselves. And it wasn't just a one-time thing, And there could be many reasons why they didn't show up, but for me, it isn't about your gender. It is about your commitment, and if you're willing and open to learn your own truths. I am all about unity. I believe men and women are different, but I truly believe in unity. And I'm actually so grateful that there are men out there that whatever reason they have that made them stop scrolling and start listening to my episodes and start following me and commenting, whatever reasons they had, I'm grateful that they did. I'm grateful that they opened up enough that they feel that they want to share, that our humanness connects us. And especially me being a mom. And I had this beautiful episode about that because I not so long ago, I think it was last week, I saw this woman who I follow. So I've been loving her content, but she made one specific content that I was like, no, I don't approve this message. I really do not believe in the way you share this, especially coming from a boy's mom. There's something special about women. We create homes, you know, we create life. Um, and I think we have a special role in the lives of men too. And when I started this whole thing, I never thought that men would reach out the amount of times that they do. Like I have a lot of comments coming from men and they're like very respectful. And you can tell from the things that they say that they actually have been, listening to the episodes, And I'm like, hey, I guess God had a different plan for me. So even though I'm targeting women, more people find resonance in my story. And I'm just opening up to that. I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Nothing is going wrong. You know, perhaps this is the unity that God wants me to actually share by just me being me and me sharing my thoughts as a woman, as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a human. And I think it is a beautiful, beautiful thing to see how that touches, the other gender as well. And so I was thinking about what to create for today. And I was like, okay, what's alive in me? This is what's alive in me. This is what I'm thinking about while I'm having my walk. And I'm like, hey, let's just stop my tracks. I'm actually at this beautiful spot. I will show it to you in a B-roll. And I'm like, let me just sit here and discuss this openly, because on my way here, actually, I ran into a mom and her daughter. I know the mom. And in that moment, I just started talking to her daughter, who is this star. This girl is made for the stages. She is, I believe, 10 years old. And when I ran into them, I asked her, like, hey, shouldn't you be at school? And then the mom said, well, the bigger kids, they're now in a different town. They have like this school trip for a few days. And they decided not to go because they're saving money for New York. And so I asked her, tell me. And so she was selected for this huge play in Broadway. And so for the whole summertime, she's going to be there with her mom. And she's going to do the play. They have to pay for, their accommodation. They have to pay for her coaching and acting classes, all of that. So there's just a lot going on. And they were like, well, we save money as much as we can because, we're aiming at something bigger here. And I look at that little one and I just knew exactly what to say. And, it just comes through me in that moment. And so I was sharing what I had to share. And the mom looked at her like, oh my God, this is exactly what I shared with my daughter in our walk. And now you come and you basically, in your own way, shared the same message. Thank you so much, because sometimes I need to hear it from someone else. And then I said to the little one, hey, mom has my number. Ask mom for my number. You can call me anytime. I did the same thing with my son, and the beautiful thing, and I will link the episode. It was about jujitsu, where he was bullied for outshining. And his teacher yesterday, before his class started, took the time to sit with him and have a conversation with him. But he already scheduled some one-on-one time with the boys individually as well. And then they also had a talk as a group. And I love that so much because we as parents and as adults, we're just supporting this, right? Supporting the children to learn and to grow and to celebrate each other shining. And so I share that too with the mom. Like sometimes we just need that extra person, because I had that with, his coach who did that. And he had this beautiful conversation with my son about, his talents, and also about him as a younger guy when he learned jiu-jitsu, how he was stubborn and how he didn't want to tap out on time and all of that beautiful inside stuff, and I could just see my son, his entire posture just grow. And I got to do that now for that little girl too. And it was very special. The thing being, we're human. End of the day, we're human. It doesn't matter if you're a boy, girl, man, woman, if you're 80 or you're 10 years old. It's our stories that connect each other. And I see, based on the comments that I get, like lengthy comments, in-depth comments, questions, all of it, and that whatever I'm creating, it touches men too. So who am I to judge that? Who am I to push back on that? There is this beauty about showing up real. And I didn't anticipate crying right now, but it touches me. There's something about being real and showing up exactly as you are. People can meet you there, you know? And I think if anything, the world needs more of that. It needs more of us connecting. And so, yeah, that's the message I want to share. This message is about be real, be you, and the right people will find you, and the right people will resonate. And it can be completely different than what you thought. So yeah, I'm all about female empowerment. But if anything, I'm all about the empowerment of humanity. There is no gender that plays a role. And if men do end up working with me, I will make sure that I will have the due diligence to make sure that we're on the same, that we are aligned. The more real you are, the more people can see themselves in you. The more individual you are, the more authentic, real you are, the more people recognize themselves in you. The more people actually see the unity in the humanness that we share. And even the mom that said, "Hey, Ash, I really think," she sent me a message right after because I made a picture of them because they were so cute together. They were wearing the same outfit. I'm like, let me make a picture of you guys. You guys look so beautiful. And I could only imagine how for your little one who has this huge dream of, being the star that she's born to be. She clearly is, right? It also takes sacrifice because right now she cannot join the kids at school who are now building memories and doing all kinds of activities together. And she's here with mom. I can only imagine that. I can feel heartbreaking, right? But in that moment, I just felt like, no, you're building something and someday you're going to stand somewhere and you know that it took a lot of sacrifices and this is one of them. But you did it consciously and look at how your parents are supporting you, being there for you, bringing you everywhere you need to be. And it's a very pricey, like this isn't like a hobby, this is a very pricey endeavor. You're fortunate to have that, to have parents like that. And yeah, I guess this is exactly what she needs to hear. But I could see her, just like I can see my son, just like I can see a lot of people. It's because I can see myself, my own struggles, my own humanness, but also my own brilliance. And this whole show is for anybody that feels that it speaks to them. And I don't give a fuck where you're from or what gender you have or who you love. It's based on love, guys. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to show you how beautiful it is here. Definitely live in paradise. Okay, I was this huge Backstreet Boys fan with my cousins. We went to a lot of their shows when they were in Europe. And it just reminds me of one of their songs. Okay, I hope the copyright thing doesn't go on YouTube, but I'm just gonna give it a try. Let's hope that my voice is not good enough for YouTube to flag it. I don't care who you are, where you're from, don't care what you do, as long as you love me. That kind of sounds weird, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.